Hi, welcome to the channel. Today is the first day of the fifth chapter, that is the new demographics. Let's start. Your customers all have something in common, but it has nothing to do with old schooling categories. The frequent references to customers and clients lead to a good question: who are they? And just as important, where are they and how do you find them? As you consider these questions, it may help to fit your ideal customers into traditional demographics, things such as age, gender, income, or it may not. While I was writing my first book, different people in the publishing industry asked me about the target market for the community that was rapidly growing. I would been in business for a while, so I knew that what they meant, but I couldn't figure out how to explain the diverse group of people who read my blog. We had artists, travelers, high school students trying to decide whether to go to college or strike out on their own, retired people making plans for a new chapter in their lives, and everyone in between. There were a number of entrepreneurs and self employed folks, but also a lot of people in traditional jobs. The gender ratio was split almost evenly between men and women. Finally, I realized that the target market had nothing to do with demographics. In a traditional sense, the group simply consisted of people from all backgrounds who wanted to live unconventional, remarkable lives. They were pro change and interested in pursuing a big dream while also making the world a better place for others. In other words, I didn't have to segment or label them according to irrelevant categories. You may not want to be a writer, but as you explore different possibilities on the road to freedom and value, it helps to think clearly about the people you plan to serve. There are now at least two ways to group them together: traditional demographics and new demographics. Traditional demographics are age, location, sex, gender, race, ethnicity, income. New demographics: interests, passions, skills, beliefs, values. In Arcata, California, the husband and wife team of Mark Reeds and Charlie Jordan own the kinetic coffee company. KKC is a gourmet micro roaster that makes great coffee, but these days there is no shortage of great coffee, so they needed something more. KKC found its legs and became profitable by targeting a specific group: cyclists, skiers, backpackers, and pretty much anyone who enjoys the outdoor lifestyle. By focusing on enthusiasts, they immediately set KKC apart in a crowded market. Mark and Charlie's connection to the outdoors is natural. Before starting the business, Mark had spent most of his career working in cycling industry. Charlie was vice president of a kayak company, and both of them were active in the local racing and recreational communities. They were also coffee addicts, so combining the two passions seemed like the right approach. We aren't we weren't the first coffee company to target the cycling market, Mark told me, but we were the first to look at the market from the perspective of bis- bicycle. shops, and outdoor dealers. We have now outlived a number of better financed companies who have since left the market. Outdoor enthusiasts are KKC people, but to reach them, Mark and Charlie work with bicycle shops and outdoor stores. Maintaining good relationships with the distributors ensures access to almost every store in the country, and Mark complements this strategy by visiting trade shows and consumer events, donating 10% of profits to outdoor causes every year. KKC is a low six-figure business. The internet has made it much easier to connect with people through shared values and ideals, but it's not strictly an online phenomenon. More than 30 years ago, long before Facebook, a band with an underground following figured this out. Here's what Jerry Garcia said about the Grateful Dead's followers. There's a lot of that stuff with people bringing their kids, kids bringing their parents, people bringing their grandparents. It's gotten to be really stressed out now. It was never my intention to say this is the demographics of our audience. It just happened. Tom Bean, a bag manufacturer from Seattle, Washington, gives us a similar idea. We are consistently and pleasantly surprised by the diversity of our customers. People have a natural desire to categorize and quantify, but we have always felt doing so with our customers would be pointless. They are students, artists, business people, teachers, scientists, programmers, photographers, parents, designers, farmers, and philanthropists. Changing the who. A business working mother from Hudson, Ohio, Chris Murray, saw an opportunity in helping child care providers run their businesses more effectively. For years, she dutifully worked at building relationships one by one with daycare centers, only to get frustrated with their low prices and lack of interest in developing the business. Despite the challenges, Caris knew it could be a good business. Families will always need childcare, and childcare providers are usually more focused on providing quality service than on managing the business side of things. How could Chris break through with a successful offer, and how could she boost her income as she served her clients? The early days were discouraging. She was exhausted, overwhelmed, and ready to quit. Then something changed. First, she streamlined her services, making them more oriented to what her clients clearly wanted. She learned to give them the fish, but the second change was also important. In Gray's words, she found a way to change the who. The clients she worked with, many daycare centers were micro businesses themselves, run by one or two people. Although these centers may provide good childcare, they tend to be wary of investing in services and therefore aren't the best fit for kids consulting practice. Pivoting to a more desirable market, this created a new division of products and services targeted to multi-location center owners. These owners had a much larger investment in their businesses and could afford to pay more for marketing help. The change made a huge difference on the bottom line. Chris went from doing okay to making more than $20,000 a month. In the early days, she tried to sell something that her clients weren't ready for. She fixed the problem by changing two things: what she offered and to whom she offered it. Disaster and recovery, culture shock edition. Redland Cape Heart case Sharkman has one of those jobs everyone envisaged. Envis is a self-titled CAO or Chief Adventure Officer of a small company called Live Adventurously. After previous career stints as a trapeze artist, time master, charity founder, and water sports dude on a cruise ship, he now runs his own show, hosting trips to exotic locations. I asked Sharkman about his greatest challenge in the new business, and here's how he tells the story of a misadventure in the South Pacific. The best and worst days were the same day. We had finished the first half of the first trip in Fiji, and the guests were raving. We returned from a day spent diving turquoise waters to find a long white linen draped dinner table sitting on the sand and water's edge. It was surrounded by kitty torches and set beautifully, with the sun setting and island music playing in the warm air. We gathered with our friends for one of the most spec- spectacular dinners in in history. Right up until the phone calls came in, the experience was like listening to a beautiful song and then abruptly hearing the needle from the record player rip across the album. The news was that the Paramount chief from the neighboring island we had planned to visit the next day had died, and the morning ritual required that everything be shut down for the next 100 nights. We had nine exultant guests and now nowhere to go. This was when doing our research earlier and really knowing the area paid off. We managed to extend out to stay where we were by one night and spent the time feverishly cobbling together plans. We chartered an aircraft dubbed the Flying Coffin for self-explanatory reasons, contacted numerous hotels, resorts, and dive operators, got recommendations, did some more research, and booked the group into a newly opened property on a remote island. The transition went smoothly. The entire rest of the trip came off without a hitch, and it was as if it had been planned that way the entire time. In the end, the resort we were originally booked into kept half of our money despite being in breach of contract. Their attitude was, if you want us, you will have to come and get us. That showed us how worthless contracts can be overseas. Our guests rallied to us and offered to pay the additional money, but we declined and ate the loss. It wasn't our guests' fault and they shouldn't have to pay. It was a hell of a way to start a new business, taking a big financial hit, but it was the right thing to do. That's the way we have chosen to operate, and I believe it always pays off. How can you follow in the footsteps of Tom Bean, the Kinetic Coffee Company, Chris Murray, and even the Grateful Dead? Strategy 1. Latch on to a popular hobby, passion, or craze. Popular diet plans come and go, but a few of them stick around. The paleo diet was encourages its followers to eat a lot of some things, meat and uncooked vegetables, and very little or none of other things, grains, rare sugars. Look like it's here to stay. Like all strict diets, paleo attracts a passionate following in addition to a passionate group on the other side that questions its scientific basic. Situations like this, an industry or movement with lots of lovers and haters always present a good business opportunity. Enter Jason Glapsy, who had adopted the lifestyle after reading The Paleo Diet, a popular manual of paleo followers. Jason noticed a big difficulty with trying to follow the diet. It was complicated. Eat natural food and avoid grains sounds simple enough, but adhering to the whole diet requires a fair amount of ongoing planning. This is another sign of a good business opportunity when lots of people are interested in something but have a hard time implementing it in their daily lives. Jason got to work creating a solution. He understood that the demographics for hardcore paleo followers were more male than female and tended to fall in the age range of 25 to 35. More important, however, Jason noticed that people of various backgrounds were attracted to the paleo lifestyle but weren't sure they could devote much of their time to planning for it. Thus, the opportunity provide a comprehensive resource that gave them the fish. No, no pun intended. Although paleo followers do eat a lot of fish by telling them exactly what to buy, cook, and eat each week. Jason started Paleo Plan, a one-man business, in 3 weeks with $1,500. Within a year, the business grew to earn recurring income of more than $6,000 a month, requiring a grand total of 2 hours work to update the site each week. We will start strategy 2 in the next session. If you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get notification about new video upload. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you.